2022 midterm elections. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman from Pennsylvania, Madeleine Dean, is back. Congresswoman, I want to ask you about something that I saw in this report, because I've asked you if you feel safe up there, and I want to know the answer again in context of this. As our work continues, my office sees continuing areas in our findings that U.S. CP needs addressing. Those areas are intelligence, training, operational planning, and cultural change. In regards to cultural change, we see that the department needs to move away from the thought process as a traditional police department and move to the posture as a protective agency. That would make all of you protectees and not just people who work in a building with its own police force. That's a big deal if you sort of follow the way government buildings and institutions and people are protected. And I wonder how you feel about it.
I actually picked that up in his first report. I thought that was exactly well said, and something I didn't realize until after the insurrection. Really, I think we thought of them as some sort of a police department, but we should not think of them in that way. They are a protectionary force. I had the benefit of that when I was impeachment manager. And I can't tell you the respect and gratitude that I have for everyone who helped me through those difficult weeks. They are a protectionary force. They should not be thought of as some municipal police department. And we should resource them appropriately. I think, sadly, that is where we are. And I really appreciate the Inspector General saying that a number of things were failures. Outdated guidance, understaffed, undermanned, underwomaned, and a failure to gather intelligence. You know that General Honore and his task force right after January 6th came up with those same recommendations. We were undermanned, understaffed, under-resourced, and they need to have dedicated intelligence gathering. One of the
ideas that hasn't moved as quickly as some people thought when we all watched the insurrection was the commission, a 9/11 style commission. I know Speaker Pelosi is still at it, but one of the reasons people believe Kevin McCarthy is so committed to ousting Liz Cheney also happens to be the fact that they clashed on the scope of an investigation. Can you tell me your thoughts and how optimistic you are that a commission will be formed?
Nicolle, I want a commission to be formed. You saw that this was in front of the administration committee today. House Oversight on Wednesday will have more hearings. We have to get to the truth and the facts and gather it all in one place. Sadly, what we are seeing is a Republican Party convulsing, at war with itself, at war, obviously, with the truth, at war over power instead of policies. You served a Republican administration that fought over policies and not over power. But this is a very sad state of affairs when the person who spoke up and told the truth, Liz Cheney, is being ousted by her own party for telling the truth and for wanting us to get to the facts so that everybody in that Capitol is safe, not just members of Congress, but staff and visitors. I'm shocked by the shallowness of what's going on in the Republican Party and Republican leadership with simple fealty to a president, a failed president, who failed to win re-election, who failed to maintain a majority in the Senate. This cultish behavior is a party at war with itself. And I hope that we will be able to get the commission and we will gather the facts and the truth so that we can lead us away from an attack by Americans on Americans.
Kevin McCarthy keeps saying that his concern is around Liz Cheney's ability to deliver a message. That seems to confirm that the message going into the next midterm cycle would be to continue to run on the big lie, to continue the insurrection, if you will, and to continue to defy the results of the election. I wonder if that has you concerned about the state of the democracy.
Sadly, Leader McCarthy has no credibility. He has spoken out of both sides of it. Right after the insurrection, he spoke, I think, with candor and with trepidation and fear for all of us. And very quickly, he flipped. He flipped because he saw that the only way for him to remain in power and hopefully get greater power was to remain loyal to a man who actually incited the insurrection. So sadly, Mr. McCarthy has no credibility, and he's at war with somebody like Liz Cheney, who is exhibiting credibility and integrity and telling the truth against the big lie.
It seems to also be wrapped up in how popular the president's agenda is among their own voters. Do you pick up any sort of political desperation as part of the equation there?
I see an awful lot of desperation, clinging to power. All of these moves seem to be out of utter desperation. You know, I've had the chance when we were home this past week to visit my district, and I have to tell you, Republicans and Democrats are saying, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the American Rescue Plan. And why is it that not a single Republican could summon up the guts to say, yes, I want to send millions of dollars to my desperately needed districts? So there's a lot of desperation out there. There is, sadly, not a conversation about what's best moving forward, like the American Rescue Plan, like the American Jobs Plan. This is what Democrats came to fight for. And so I'm confident we'll move forward. Our districts are noticing who is hollow and simply chiming a tune that Mr. Trump wants to hear, and those that actually want to move America forward based on the truth.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, always a pleasure to get to talk to you about all these issues and anything in the news. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Brad.
When we return, as we do every day, we will remember lives well lived.